Hi, this is Kevin Van Trump again. I was notified and told in the office that your free trial is about to expire and you have a decision to make. Do I part ways and ride off into the sunset, or do I become a paid subscriber and a paid member of this network and team that we've assembled here at the Van Trump Report? Before you make that decision, I want you to keep in mind there's several additional benefits and things that you haven't been made aware of or that you don't know exist yet as a paid subscriber. I wanted to walk you through some of those just real quickly and explain to you how I look at things when I add a new tool or I put a new piece of machinery in place or I add a new investment to one of our businesses, and how I make that decision. And like I said, it's yours to take with you and use. Like you're under no commitment whatsoever, any obligation at all. And I've learned first off and foremost, I learned from many of my friends who've been top CEOs and top executives that people buy value, not price. So I guess more than anything, I hope you see value in the information and see value in being a part of our team and a part of our group. And understand that moving forward with your own business. A lot of times people talk the word price a lot, and it's not true. I mean, you could mark. I'll give you a good example. Remember back in the day when they had Beta and VHS, or they had the laser disc. Remember they were really cool when we were kids, back in the 80s. And if you went into Walmart today and they had the Beta tapes, or they had the laser disc for sale for 50 cents, you still wouldn't buy them because you don't see value in it. So it doesn't matter how cheap price gets. Always remember that. It doesn't matter how cheap price gets. People buy value. They have to see value in something, and then they equate that from there. So when I look at something, and for me it's fairly simple. Like I said, when I put a new tool in place or a new piece of machinery, a new piece of equipment at one of our businesses, I like to extrapolate out value. Now, by that, I have to know, is this going to save me time and energy, and how is that going to equate from a value perspective or a value play? Now, with this particular offer or this particular tool that you're looking at here with our Van Trump Report and our network and our group and things that we're offering, I'll let you know first and foremost that it costs me thousands and thousands of dollars each month that I pay for outside research and for the team of experts that I've assembled on our staff to help me provide the insight in the information that I provide to you. Now, I also know how much it would cost you to have a team of your own on staff of this size and to have it being led by a trader similar to myself, say, with 30 years of experience. To have a trader on your team and on your staff and in your group that you can call, or an investor or someone who's worked at the Chicago Board of Trade, Merck, the Kansas City, worked at the Kansas City Board of Trade, those places, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Not alone then the staff and the research and the other information that you're going to need to acquire and generate to give you the insight and the perspective that is offered. So you got to ask yourself, how much would I have to pay for that? Well, in this case, you'd be paying thousands and thousands of dollars. Obviously, we're not charging thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, I've heard some folks say, what about, I just get this myself. Well, I would definitely challenge someone on that. And they say that maybe somewhat facetiously, or maybe they just, they don't know. They just don't know what type of work and all that's entailed in this. So I've heard that argument, and for argument's sake, I tell people, let's just assume you give it a shot. Let's assume you do try and do it yourself. I personally spend over 12, 14 hours each day on the phone, on the computer, on the road, etc., with the best and brightest, trying to gain new perspective myself so I can offer that perspective onto my clients and onto my network of friends and family with our investments in our own pool. And my staff's also spending 10 hours each day individually. And if by some strange chance you could magically do all this work that we are doing yourself in just 2 or 3 hours each day, which would no way see possible or had the experience, I would ask you then, what do you value your time to be worth? Is it $50 an hour? Is it $25 an hour? Maybe it's just $7 an hour. I don't know. But 3 hours a day, if you could pull this off with some magic crystal ball, at $7 an hour is still $105 a week or about $420 a month. That's over $5,000 a year if you had a minimum wage lackey assembling the information for you, or if you're spending 3 hours of your own time finding the information and you only value your own time at $7 an hour, you're still spending close to $5,000 a year. Now remember, that's a minimum wage worker doing it for you, or you valuing your own time at a minimum wage. Then I have an entire professional staff, myself included, working full-time all week long, as part of your team. Now that's what's changed a lot in business. A lot of people are outsourcing. They've learned to outsource lots of things that they're not the best at. And if they're not absolutely, it's 100% in their wheelhouse or it's their home run pitch, they don't swing and they outsource it. And I've learned that as well. We're outsourcing. We stopped hiring to do websites and to do things like it. We stopped hiring them. We outsource all of it now. We've learned that it's too difficult to manage the personnel, to hire the kids, to do the payroll, to do everything when I can just outsource it for a lot cheaper. So all of our daily proprietary research, all of our special reports, all of our real-time sales signals, podcasts, strategies, and intel are all included in this thing for $60 a month. Or if you want to sign up annually and have it automated, it's just $600 a year. So it's even less. You get 2 months for free. And like I said, you break that down, you're under $3 a day. And when people ask me, do you see value? Well, I certainly see value, and I hope everyone else sees value, because you could never replicate or duplicate the information for $3. Even if you valued your time at $20 an hour, I mean, you're talking nothing here. So when you start to look at tools to put into your business, or tools that you may need as you move forward, whether it's in farming, whether it's in the investment world, whether you're investing in an ice cream business, you look at tools and you base those tools on value. And can you replicate the time and energy that you're getting for that value that you're paying? So with that being the case, that's where I challenge everyone. And then before you decide, I'm cool either way. And I understand there are other services out there. There are other people who do a wonderful job as well, and they try and help, and they provide insight and perspective also in this industry. And if you like theirs, or you want to do business with them, I encourage you to do that. We're going to be here. I've been here many, many years. We're going to continue to be here. If they drop the ball or they fumble, hey, look down on the bench, throw us in the game. We'd love to have the opportunity. I am no way discouraging anyone from using other sources or other perspectives. I personally like to use multiple perspectives. I encourage folks, go look at what Brock has to offer. Go look at what Gohlke. Look at what Mark Gold. They're all friends. I have no issues. And like I said, I think they all do a great job. So I like to personally look at Ag Resource. I like what Dan and those folks do over at Ag Resource. I think it's important to have multiple perspectives and multiple insight. Now, you can make that decision for yourself. I understand there's a budget involved, and you can only spend so much or read so much. So I definitely understand that dilemma. But before you decide, keep in mind, like I said, there's several additional benefits that you receive as a paid subscriber. And to me, these are kind of the secret sauce to gaining the real traction. Now, my daily newsletter and the daily thoughts are awesome, and I love I love the fact that I put it together and I put it out each morning, and it's a part of me. But I take away and I bring a lot more to our paid subscribers. Now, the things you're not receiving are basically as follows: a real-time signal. So when I make a cash sale, whether it's on our farms in South America, or the farms partnerships across the United States, I put out there when I'm actually making my own sales. Also, remember, I manage bushels for ADM and things of that nature and work with ADM. And so I'm also telling you when I'm going to make some sales, cash sales side with our friends at ADM. So I put out there and lay on the line what I'm doing and where I'm doing it at. And I also, in our real-time signals, I talk and put in there the strategies that I'm hearing from friends that used to work on the floor, guys that hedge fund guys that currently own farms, and they're trying to hedge their risk and reduce some of their risk and exposure. I relay out there some of those strategies that I'm hearing and that they're using. So it's interesting for producers, but we also have a lot of brokers and a lot of people in the business that are helping folks with risk management strategies, also interested in the information and love just seeing what's being talked about and what's being discussed. So, I make those available and I pass that along to our paid subscribers. We also include, my wife loves to do, is kind of a fun thing. We like to do a recipe of the week. My wife's been a great cook, and hell, I've been a great eater, so to speak. So we make a great team. But bottom line, she loves to try new recipes, and we pass along a lot of our family recipes and other recipes that we get from other family members in our network or our group. We encourage you to share some of your favorite family recipes, and we put out a book each year that we send our subscribers online, and we pass those along each week. So that's kind of a fun thing. Also, as a paid subscriber, you'll get what we call Farm Tank Friday. My son Jordan puts together a millennial view of kind of what their perspective is. It's become difficult and tough. I talk to a lot of my friends, and their sons and daughters come back to work with them and either work on the farm or in the family business. And some businesses now have, think about it, they have 4 generations trying to work together. And it's interesting. It's the first time in history that we've seen, 3 and 4 generations in the same business. And in the perspective from the younger kids, I hate to say it. I always wanted to say I wasn't going to be one of those guys that get old and get set in my ways. But, the younger kids' perspective is a lot different from my perspective. So we've created what's called Farm Tank Friday. We send it out to all of our paid people, and just gives a perspective from the younger kids and what they're doing, what they're looking at, whether, different business ideas, thoughts. And it's really been a lot of fun. I enjoy reading it. And like I said, it does provide a little balance for me, and it lets me see through a different lens. Now, we also offer what we call a Farm Tank podcast series. Now, this is what I think's been really interesting. And I tell you what, I've stolen a ton of information and business hacks and life hacks from this. I had my son Jordan start interviewing some of my friends that were top CEOs and the big traders, and they referred us to other friends. He just got done doing the Gronkowskis, and he's done talk with David Perry on the podcast extensively. I could name the list and go on and on. Carter Williams, the CEO over at iSelect, down the line. Molly Bloom, the famous movie was made with Molly and Molly's Game. We go to, like I said, James Lawrence, some really cool people that have done some amazing things in business and in life. And we took a different approach to it, though. I didn't want to just hear all the standard stuff you hear out there. I wanted to hear what really made these people tick, and how they were brought up, and how they were raised, and what's some of the best advice or tips they had ever received in their life, and what are some things that made them think and challenged them, and how they overcame those hurdles. And so we really kind of try and go off the cuff a little bit, or off the grid, so to speak, with that Farm Tank podcast series. And I, like I said, I personally listen to it when I'm on the road or things like that, and I've learned some interesting things and really applied many interesting things out of that series. And we make that available to all the paid subscribers, also access to that entire library. So that's been, I think, a very important and cool learning tool. We also have the Ring of Fire podcast series. That's something that they started in the office for me, and I get on there at least once a month, minimum once a month, tell you my current positions, my current thoughts, what I'm actually doing in the market, how I'm making adjustments, what I'm doing in my cash positions, how I'm adjusting even my stock portfolio, our 401ks, and different types of things of that nature. I'm also advancing the ball and bringing in new guests and special guests to that Ring of Fire podcast series, where we get on there and we talk about the markets. I get their perspectives. I challenge them on their thoughts. We listen to what they're saying and what they're doing. And I tell you what, it's really been I think it's going to end up being a real big hit. And we've already seen lots of folks say, hey, man, this really helps us kind of paint with some color what I'm trying to say in the report on a daily basis. It's hard to put down all your thoughts in text format and actually get the same feel out of it. So this Ring of Fire podcast series kind of brings that together for people and then paints a more clear and more vivid picture. So that's something else that you also receive as a paid subscriber. And then you also, for the producers out there, you get what we call our cash drain marketing guide. And that's really, I've had some people say it's kind of like their blueprint or their Bible for their cash drain marketing. And what I did many years back, I had tested and tried every possible way of marketing grain, through the years. And I had gotten involved with TradeStation and some other computer testing platforms when they first came out in the 90s. And I started piddling around and playing around with it on the grain marketing side. And I've tested almost every possible way you could think of to strategically market grain in a better form or fashion. And I pass along in a book format my blueprint for how I do it and how I've learned to do it. I've simplified it down. I believe it's a really simple process. And I give historical tendencies, tools, tricks, and kind of hacks that you can create and build your own blueprint, cash grain marketing blueprint. So you also get that as well. So like I said, you get everything that we just talked about, plus you get the daily report that you've been getting. And it's all for $60 a month. A lot of folks sign up just for the $600 a year. At the same time, you also, this qualifies folks if they become members. They get to if they need anything from a swag perspective, we also own an in-house company called Ag Swag. We pass along the cost, wholesale cost for those. If you need hats, shirts, any type of things you need like that, we get them custom done. We have accounts with all the top brands, whether it's Nike, Under Armour, all the way down the line. And we've been able to save some folks quite a bit of money. So those are all of the benefits. Those are all the things you get as a paid subscriber. You want to look at it as a value play. Do not sign up if it's just an emotional play. Like I say, when you're going to add new tools to your operation or to your other businesses, make sure you always remember you're not buying price, you're buying value. As you break that down, really try and break down the value that you're getting. And if you're getting a big bang for your buck from a values perspective, that's when you want to pull the trigger and make the play. If not, just simply because something is cheap doesn't mean there's any value in it. So make sure you recognize that as you move forward. We try and create a blend of trying to be a low-cost provider while at the same time providing the most value that we can absolutely provide. So in parting, I thank you again for your time. I hope you decide you want to become a part of our team and a part of our network of elite professionals. If you do, you can call our office today at 816-322-5300 and get signed up. Or you can simply sign up via our secured online platform. Enter it all right there. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. So I wish you and your family all the best. Thank you again for your time and your consideration in the free trial. If there's anything we can do for you, please, like I said, don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you again.